Hey guys, Avery here with Skip's Tactical Solutions, and it's another episode of Talk to Me Thursday. As you guys come on, please let me know where you are joining from. Hi guys, as you come on, please let me know where you are joining from. Hi guys, thank you for joining. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Talk to Me Thursday. As you guys come on, please let me know where you're joining from. We will have Mr. Kenn Blanchard. He will be joining us very soon on Facebook. Hi, Black Rainbow TV. Hi, Try the Barber, Reggie Regis, The Real Silverback Guns, Biker Boy, Sight Night, thank you for joining. Timothy, thank you for joining. And on Facebook, Gregory, thank you for joining. Marcus, sorry, I hope I said that properly. Thank you for joining. Miss Maggie, thank you for joining. Gregory, thank you for joining. Melissa, thank you for joining. Doing good. I have not had a Talk to Me Thursday in a while, and I miss you guys. So let me know how your week has been going so far. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to post them. As always, if I do not get to your questions, Try the Barber. I forgot you. Sorry, I thought I did say your name. If I do not get to your question, feel free to send me a message. If I don't get to it, MW Tactical. Yes, actually, my feet do not hurt from SHOT Show. I was very surprised, but they do not hurt. Henry, thank you for joining. Cord, thank you for joining. Matt, I'm not quite sure what that is. As you guys come in, please let me know where you are joining from. So for those of you who are on Facebook, we have a special guest tonight, Kenn Blanchard. Kenn, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay. For those of you who are on Facebook, can you see Mr. Kenn Blanchard? So if you're on Facebook and you can see him, give me a thumbs up, give me a like, give me a something.
Oh, well, I see a couple of folks that I know on here too.
Okay.
Wow, nice.
All right, so DRox41 asks, what was your biggest disappointment at SHOT? To be honest, I was not disappointed with anything at SHOT Show. It was my first time going. I saw a lot, and there was just a lot of things that were out there. All right, so for those of you who are on Facebook, you can actually see Mr. Kenn Blanchard. And if you are on Facebook, don't forget to share the live video and you will get a chance to win a Skips Tactical t-shirt or a hoodie. So, I mean, not hoodie, sorry. A free t-shirt or a pin.
All right.
And I would like for Mr. Blanchard to introduce himself very quickly to the individuals who are on Facebook. For those of you guys who are on Instagram, if you are not on my Facebook page, you can go ahead and head over to my Facebook page, which is Skips Tactical Solutions, and you will be able to see Mr. Blanchard.
Hey everybody, this is Kenn Blanchard, also known as the Black Man with a Gun. This is probably my first live video that I've used in Facebook, actually co-hosting with somebody, so forgive me for being like the old dude, but I am definitely feeling it right now. I see about 4 or 5 people that I know from my page, so that's kind of cool that you guys actually followed me over here. So thanks so much for joining me here.
All right, so if you have, go ahead.
I've been in the gun rights movement since 1991. I have helped concealed carry across the country. I've been a firearms instructor, a gun rights activist, pistol packing preacher for going on 25 years now. And I've been doing the Black Man with a Gun show podcast for about since 2006. And I'll let the questions come as they may.
All right, so that was a quick rundown about Mr. Kenn Blanchard. If you have a question, feel free to post it like I stated before. And if we do not get to your question during the live, then we will circle back and get to your question soon. Mr. Blanchard, would you like to answer one of the questions from the Instagram page? And if you're on Instagram, can you guys hear him? I know you guys can't see him.
I don't even have my Instagram up, so this is strictly Facebook for me right now.
Do you have the question that I sent you? A couple of questions that I sent you?
Yeah, but I'm having Alzheimer's. I don't remember what it was.
One of
them was about organizations to join, I believe, was one of them. And I can start off with that one. Somebody asked.
So one of the questions, okay. So they can actually hear you on Instagram, so you can go ahead.
Do you have the question up right there in front of you?
No, but I can pull it up. The first question that he's going to answer was, when it comes to African Americans in the Second Amendment community, what would be an organization that he would recommend for them to join? Because there's a lot of people who are on the fence right now with the NRA, so he's going to answer that.
All right. You asked what one, you said a organization, so I'm going to say your state organization. Wherever you are from, start with them. Find out who is doing what in your state. Start there. Sometimes they're NRA affiliated, sometimes they're not. But start with your local stuff first. Most of our politics is local. You want to make sure that you know what's happening for gun rights, for gun ownership, for the legal issues, police issues. All that stuff is local, and states are different from federal. So you want to start off local, and you can go from there.
And another thing that we have previously talked about is you have to make sure that you're actually contributing to these organizations and become members. If you're not a member, then you are not going to have a vote, and there's going to be a lot of times you may be complaining about things and they're not going to be heard because you're not really a member.
Yeah, and to just piggyback on that, say you want somebody to do something for you, why should they if you have no dog in the fight? If you are not a contributor, if you haven't paid for anything, then your talk is just talk. It's still an old axiom about money. Money does everything, and BS. I can't even get my words right tonight, but the BS is nothing. So your opinion is cool, but your dollars mean more when it comes to organizations.
Absolutely. And on the Instagram page, there are a couple people who are saying Gun Owners of America. And when it comes to these different organizations, there's not one organization for each person. Do your homework and find out what you like, what you don't like, and join what you think is the best fit for you. But there's no problem in joining more than one.
Absolutely. I want to say 3. You want to have your local organization, you want to have a national organization, and then you want to have one that does something else that you dig, whether it's competition or they do the gun rights thing right in your eyes. But you do want to do 3. I'm just saying, start off with your local and state, and then from that go forward. But you have to be involved to be in this thing. You can't be sitting on the sideline throwing snowballs.
None of us like snowballs. All right, so on Instagram, RMG446969 said, money helps the fight. That is absolutely correct. And he also said, joining keeps you well informed.
It's true.
So actually, I'm gonna, I don't know if can you see the questions on Facebook?
No. Let me see.
Okay, so a question that we received on Facebook is from Marcus Ferris, and I hope that I'm saying your name correctly. He said, can you both tell me your earliest memories with firearms? I will let you go first since you're my guest.
Technically not a firearm. My first thing was probably my Daisy Red Ryder BB gun, and then the next time was actually a 22 that my dad bought me right before I left high school, and or right before I went into high school. And I didn't really get that much training on it till the military. Military really, beat it home about the rifleman. And then from that point on, my first pistol was buying a 357 Ruger single shot pistol from a guy on base, which I thought I was doing something with this giant Ruger 6. This thing was like, I can see why he got rid of it. I mean, it was just an 8-inch barrel. It was a bear, but I thought I had a gun, man. I thought I was doing something. That was my first 2 firearms, though.
All right, so my first memory with a firearm would be when I joined the military. So a good old M16 in basic training, and I had no knowledge of firearms, and it was very intimidating for me. But I found myself paying very close attention because I wanted to learn. So for all of you guys who have military service, you know how it is. You go into the military and it's like, bam. So yeah. That was my first time. I got an expert though. And the first purchase would be a Glock 43, and it was for my concealed carry. And I haven't been carrying I probably have had it about 5 years, somewhere along there. But yeah, and that's my beginning. And now I'm definitely not a gun nut, but I have certain ones that I like, but it's definitely really good memories. I don't have any bad memories.
My first time I went to the gun store and actually bought something was in a pawn shop. It was a brand new Llama 9mm, looked like a 45, and I thought I had a firearm until I shot like a really hot load and then blew the extractor off of it, and I had to take it back to get the firearm worked on. That was like my first real gun where I actually shot it enough that I broke something. And from that point on, we were still in revolvers back then in law enforcement. And then I moved into, I think my first semi-auto was actually a Glock 17 back in '86.
All
I
right,
think
so a
somewhere,
question.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just thinking, and then there was like that Colt King Cobra that I should have kept, but I sold. One of those things. Next question.
So a question for you off of Instagram is from Matt Caney, and he said, what are your thoughts on Oregon's new proposed anti-gun laws?
I really feel bad for the whole Northwest. The Washington State and Oregon, these folks are just coming out with some really old stuff. And because people are not engaged and waiting for some other big organization to jump on it, stuff's going through. You're gonna have to like get busy. That's the ugly side of it, the whole thing. You can't let anything go. You're gonna have to like take off from work, get involved with the candidates, do stuff that you just hate en masse. If it's just one or two of you, not gonna work. It's got to be a lot of people, a lot of different people. It can't be from the same group, and that's where the local gun clubs and gun groups kind of help. Because if you know that like I got at least 20 or 30 guys in my group, then at least we can go on a day and it's a thing. You have to go and be a part of the process, and you can only do that if you're already organized before you get there.
That's great. Malcolm Earl on Instagram said, thank you for being a good example of responsible firearm owners.
Thanks. Thank you. Como, man, Como, that guy in New York is bad. What's really, really bad about some of the politicians that are anti-gun, they don't go anywhere. The same people have been there since I've started this thing. So when I came on, either they or their family are still in power. That's what's really weird. None of the politicians change. They're still Schumer. They're still Feinstein. They're still all the same anti-gun Como in New York. The same people are still in charge. We got to learn how to vote these people out.
Naturally, Sonia on Instagram said, my first purchase was a purple Glock 43. And RMG said, joining groups like Moms Demand Action. And someone said, hashtag Melanin Gun Owners Stands Up. And KD with No Other Choice Firearms Training said, subsidy. Hey, how are you? So KD just recently released his gun at SHOT Show. So head over to his page and check out the new gun that he just released. And on Facebook, Jeff Rowe and I don't want to say your name wrong, Gage. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, he wanted to shout out. He got one.
This is a comment from Instagram. RMG says, too many folks in gun-friendly states have the never hear attitude. What are your thoughts on that?
It's true. The folks who don't have to struggle sit back on their laurels sometimes, and then the folks who struggle, like New Jersey and DC and California and Detroit, you're battling, and you battle so hard you get tired. You need that's when being in an organization kind of helps. When you can hear the pain from another state, that kind of helps you either get in where you fit in, or help. That's a weird question. There are just so many different things that you can do. Everybody has a gift or a talent that they can use in the community that they're in. You don't have to be the best shot or the best speaker. You might be a good organizer, or you might be a good person who can do graphics or design, or you might be a good person for the telephone tree, or a good person that can network. Just get in where you can fit in. You have to get involved in this thing. That's the only way we're gonna win.
So there's a comment on Instagram that I want to read.
Okay.
Because I think it's good. So Jen Zen said, I had a stalker, got a handgun, then a shotgun, then an AR-15. I didn't sleep well for weeks. Now I sleep like a baby. I have the right to protect myself. No one should be able to take away my peace. So on that, I want to say that I'm very proud of you for taking that step and learning how to defend yourself. And there's nothing like that peace of mind when you can defend yourself.
Right.
EDC guy, hi, thank you for joining. LQ, thank you for joining. CDN, thank you for joining. Simple Stephanie, sorry. Thank you for joining. I am J. Chris, thank you for joining. So really quick, I wanna kind of take a break in the questions and let you guys know that Kenn has a podcast called Black Men with a Gun. I don't know if you guys know, but I recently started a podcast. If you have not heard my podcast, once you're done on this live, I need you to head over to my podcast and listen to it. So whatever podcast player you have, it's even on YouTube. So if you don't think you have a podcast player, then you can head over to YouTube and listen to it. But the podcast is called Skip's Tactical Solutions. And I know everyone doesn't have social media, but I want you guys to be able to listen to me on the go. And I started a podcast. So I would love for you guys to support me. And I want you guys to grow with me. And let's just get out there and take the Second Amendment, supporting our protecting our freedom, supporting our rights, all this. Let's take it and let's run with it. And Mr. Kenn Blanchard has a podcast, and his podcast is called Black Men with a Gun. So when I originally saw Black Men with a Gun in my podcast player, I was like, what is this? Right? And then I went over to go give it a listen, and I don't know if anyone else is like me, but when I listen to something, I always have to go to like episode number 1, and I want to just listen and grow with that podcast, right? Well, with Mr. Kenn Blanchard, I could not do that because he just hit 600 episodes. I listened to about 5 to 10 of his episodes, and it inspired me to start my own podcast. So I have to thank him for inspiring me, and I kind of ran with it, and I've connected with him. So I have deemed him my Second Amendment mentor. And now I have leached onto him. So I want you guys to head over, check out my podcast. I want you to head over, check out his podcast. And then on the Instagram Live, we have the EDC guy, and he has a podcast as well. And go over and check out his podcast. He is here in Florida. But everybody who is out here jobbing it in the Second Amendment community, a lot of us have full-time jobs, and this is something that we're doing on the side. And it may seem like it's a thankless job at times, but we're out here and we're giving our best to inform you all and to fight for our rights. So sometimes you just have to reach out and let someone know that you appreciate them. And that's what I did with Kenn. I reached out and let him know that I appreciated his podcast and to just keep going because he was inspiring me. So then I kind of started my own podcast. Jason Stubbs on Facebook said, Kenn's an example for many. He wears like 120 hats, and I appreciate him for all of the hats that he wears. And if you have not connected with him, he has a Facebook, he has a Instagram, and on Facebook, he is Black Man with a Gun, and he is also Kenn Blanchard. He's Black Man with a Gun 1 on Facebook. And then on Instagram, he's Black Man with Gun. Yes, yep, he's Black Man with Gun. And his podcast is Black Men with a Gun. And just head over, check it out. And feel free to leave a rating and a review. And I have a couple people who are on here and they're saying that they have been following me for a while and they've been listening. And just keep up the good work.
And They never see me on this thing. I've been just a voice guy. So the fact that somebody got me onto the screen is amazing. So to Tasha and to Michael and to Joe and to Mr. Rouse and let's see, and Joe, and there's like a whole bunch of folks that are from my Facebook page. The folks that I see and haven't seen in a long time. It's good to see that you're here. I'm still kicking. I'm still doing this thing. And I even got a YouTube channel. It's blackmanwiththegun.tv. It's probably got like 3 views. So if you go over there, you can like make it number 4. That'd be really cool. And life has been life. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard. But it's the friends that you have that make the hard times better. And if social media is nothing else, it's a way for us to stay in touch with each other. So you can do this, you can do a lot of things with this thing, but make sure that you and I don't lose contact with each other over time.
And so I know the people who follow me, you guys are very aware that you can always reach out to me. I'm very open to receiving messages, to DMs, whatever it may be. So make sure that you guys reach out. Kenn is the same way as well. He likes to receive emails. He likes to receive messages. And if there's things that you guys have for us, let us know. And we're looking to improve. We're looking to bring you guys exactly what you want. But I have a really, really, really important message to give to you guys. So I know I've been kind of MIA there for a bit. Okay, so if you guys want to hear what my exciting news is, give us a thumbs up, show us some love, whatever it may be. We're going to share the news. Facebook, can we get a heart? Can we get a love? Can we get a all right, there we go. All right, so the really exciting news is I know I've been kind of MIA when it comes to podcasting there for a bit. I went to SHOT Show. When I returned from SHOT Show, I know you guys have heard of that dreaded SHOT Show crud, right? So I was really sick when I came back from SHOT Show, so I could not deliver a Skip Tactical Solutions podcast episode this week. But I can promise you it's going to be well worth the wait, because my podcast episode this week is me interviewing Mr. Kenn Blanchard. So I'm honored to have Kenn on my podcast this week. And what I'll probably do is I will release, the episodes are normally released on Mondays, but this week I think I'm going to release it a day early. So you guys will probably receive it on Sunday, since I've been kind of missing with the episodes. But I would appreciate it if you guys would listen, give us a rating and a review, and head over to Kenn's as well so that you can check out his episodes. And like I said, he just hit 600, so you'll be listening for a very long time. But if you head over to mine, I only have like 8, so you'll get through those really quick. But if you head over to YouTube, you'll actually be able to see the live interview with me and Kenn. So if you go to your podcast player, it will be on the podcast player, but the live interview will be loaded on YouTube. And of course, we'll share it on the social channels as well. But I just want to give you guys that little tidbit because I appreciate you all for joining us for Talk to Me Thursday. Yes, it is. Kenn, is your podcast on Spotify?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
It is.
Both of our podcasts are on Spotify. So let's see, so Tash, sorry if I messed it up, on Facebook said, have done public speaking with Kenn Blanchard in New Jersey on the Second Amendment. I had a banana in my holster because we couldn't carry there. He made fun of my heels. Hey, they're great weapons too, Marine. Laugh out loud.
I know, right?
So she sounds like my type of woman because she's talking about heels.
She is. Tasha's all woman. It's all good. Strong sister. Gone through a lot and still kicking. Got a great testimony.
That's great. And another thing that I do on my channels is I do a Women Who Carry Wednesday feature where I like to spotlight a woman every Wednesday in the Second Amendment community. And don't think that it has to be someone who's out here and they're being all high speed and all this stuff, right? No, it's just any woman who is embracing the Second Amendment, taking it upon herself to protect herself, or she's thinking about doing it and she's not quite sure. But I'm looking to highlight women because I want to encourage more women to just be proactive when it comes to their safety. So if you know of any women, please send them my way, and I would love to highlight them, but I will not highlight them without their approval. So they have to send me the info. I asked them a couple questions, but you can tag them in my post, or you can connect us in any way you would like, but it's just something that I do with their approval. And hopefully we can get tons of women, and I will just keep highlighting them every week on our Women Who Carry Wednesday.
That's cool right there.
So, Simple Stephanie, I don't know why you have not sent me your information for Women Who Carry Wednesday, because I love how much you support me. So I need you to send me an inbox and I will highlight you.
For anybody in the Maryland area, on Thursdays, I'm looking into meeting up probably right after work around 5, between 5 and 6, 5 and 7 at the range up in Odenton. I'm going to try this probably once a month. And if you're interested, contact me on Facebook or contact me by email at blackmanwiththegun@gmail.com if you're in the Maryland area.
Great. So I hope you guys heard that. Art 2 Guns, hi, thank you for joining. Bandit said it will be nice to have an event in North Carolina. If you can get a group together, I do travel.
Yeah, I'm thinking I would love to have like a summit that we put together, that we gather our own people, that it's not political, not just social for the most part. Let us just start off together first before we get all whatever. And that'd be a nice thing to happen if we can ever get that off the ground.
Did you guys hear that? Ken was talking about having a summit to where we just get, instead of it being like a SHOT Show or NRA, we could just have our own summit, get people together. So if you guys think that that's a great idea, which I think is a great idea, then make sure that you comment below, let us know, and tag your friends so that they can see this as well. We can only spread our message so far, and our message goes further with the help of you guys. So if you can share it, if you are on Instagram right now, I request for you to hit that little, I guess it's an arrow, hit that and send it to someone else that you think really needs to hear this message, or someone that you want to encourage when it comes to the Second Amendment community. And if you're on Facebook, make sure that you share the video, and you can also tag a friend in the comments, and we pick a winner every week for a free shirt. Zachary Taylor, thank you for joining. And Marcus said that that is a great idea. I think that's a great idea as well. We obviously know that Ken is full of great ideas. And he also has a book. And if you listen to my podcast episode this week coming up, then you will find out about his book. Stuart James asks, are you a member of the NRA? I am a member of the NRA. Ken, are you a member of the NRA? Ken is a member of the NRA as well. And I am also a NRA instructor. Alonzo Hicks said, sounds good. Make it a national thing. How is everyone doing? I'm doing fabulous. I'm blessed and I have no complaints.
Skip, I just want to let you know that I appreciate you pulling me along with this thing and doing all this stuff. It takes extra to think about anybody else other than yourself these days, which is like a lost art. So your example is going to help some people too, because people have have not seen anybody help other people. They've just been doing every man for himself. So the fact that you're doing this is a good thing. So I appreciate you, and I want to just give you a salute for that. So
Thank you. And so for those of you guys who kind of came on late, or for those of you guys who didn't see the message, I do apologize. I normally go live at 8 p.m. Eastern, and I like to be very timely. Tonight, duty called. I had to work, and so we had to push it to the right a bit. So I do want to thank Mr. Blanchard for still joining us, although we were an hour 15 minutes behind when we were originally supposed to start. But like I said before, some of us still have full-time jobs. Although I would love to be doing this full time. So if anyone can make a huge donation. Some of us still have full-time jobs. So duty calls, when it calls, we have to answer. And I'm glad that you guys were able to still join us. And if you like this episode, please let us know. And we can try to make this something that we do maybe once a month or however so often time permits. But if you liked it, please let us know. And if you have any questions, like I said before, please comment below. And like he said, we should definitely head over to his YouTube and help boost his numbers. And while you're there, you can head over to my YouTube as well. Tosh said, women must be able to protect themselves. The women of the last civil rights stress this all of the time. I'm from Arizona, where we can carry conceal without a permit here. It is very important that women learn self-defense and how to carry and use a weapon to defend themselves. It's better to know and not need it than rather than need it and not know how. Keep up the great work, you two. We support you as well. Thank you so much for that. Her comment, she said women, but I'm just gonna go ahead and piggyback on that. Everyone needs to know how to protect themselves. Please don't live with a false sense of security and become a victim. And that's why we're doing what we're doing. We want to educate everyone. And I encourage you all to get educated. If you have not taken some sort of class, please take a class. Make it a goal. We just started the year. Go ahead and make a goal to take some sort of training for the year. And some of these classes can be inexpensive. Some of them can be very expensive. So it all depends on what your budget allows. But there's a lot of resources that are out there, and just take advantage of them, because the excuse "I didn't know" will not work. And especially when it comes to gun crimes, they're taking very serious.
somebody asked a question earlier about, I just remembered it, about do you have to inform the police officer if you're carrying concealed? Actually, that is hopefully you can hear me. That is depending on the city or the state that you live in. Almost every state has a different law for your duty to inform law enforcement. And if you joined a local club, that'll be some of the stuff that you'll learn. There was a reason why I said join a local club versus the nationals. You got to start off in your area, because nobody cares more about what's happening in your area than the people who live in your area. So if you join, there's a local place, the local thing first, they'll tell you about how concealed carry laws work, how the legislation is working at the time, what's going on in your area, that you can donate there and do the most good, because it's your neighborhood. And then after that, you can go national, and then they can fuss with the senators and the congressmen that have been there for 200 years. But the local level is where you should start, because that way you're going to be able to affect the most change. Oregon, Washington State, New Jersey, California. I know there's some crappy folks in New Jersey. There have been crappy folks in New Jersey forever and a day, but you guys got to just get a little closer with each other and fight a little harder, and let your voices be heard. You got some strong people in New Jersey, some really, really good attorneys. Make sure that you connect with them and learn the process so that you can be ready to go next time. All right, somebody subscribe since we've been on this thing.
Nice. And R2 Gun said that in his state there's no duty to inform. And like Ken said, make sure that you are finding out what your local laws are, because I see people on the internet all the time just informing other people, don't tell the cops this, don't tell the cops that. They should already know that. Not every cop system is the same. And if that state there's a duty to inform, then you have to inform, right? And I mean, there's really no sense in breaking laws just to break them. So find out what is required for your state. Always follow the rules. And I mean, you can't really go sideways if you're following the rules, but you have to know the rules in order to follow them. And Ken Bandit Zoo said that he just subscribed to your channel.
I know, right? I just saw it flash on my screen, so appreciate that, man. I got one. Success.
And Tosh said, even children can learn. I was raised around guns. My own daughter was trained on how to use weapons. They're not dangerous if people are educated in their use and are used properly. Absolutely. I'm a big advocate of training children. I had someone ask me yesterday on the Instagram, asked me a question if I had children. I do have 2 children. I have 2 boys. They are 9 and 12, and they are very well versed when it comes to gun safety. I would encourage you to get your children educated. A lot of the times, children do not listen to their parents. My mom's watching this right now, so I do listen, Mom. I do listen. But when it comes to children, a lot of the times they don't listen to their parents. So it would behoove you to get an outsider, a trained professional. Let me say that again, a trained professional to train your children. That way you know that they know the right things and that they're just learning. And sometimes it's just good to learn together. So make sure that you guys are doing that, getting your children trained, because I say it all the time, and I know if you listen to me, then it's kind of like a broken record. They're bringing guns into our children's schools, so we have to make sure that our children are very well aware of gun safety and what to do.
Absolutely.
So we had another subscriber to your YouTube.
I got 2 on this show. I can't believe it. I'm doing good.
All right, so does anyone have any last minute questions for Mr. Blanchard? I do appreciate you guys showing so much love tonight, and I know it's been a while. I was so excited, and then I had to stay at work late, and I was like, oh my God, I have to show up today. And if you do not catch the full video, I will be uploading this video to my YouTube, which is Skip Tactical Solutions. And you can head over and watch the rest of the video there. And you can also head over to Ken's channel and subscribe. Let's see how many subscribers we can get him tonight.
I got 2 so far. This was totally worth it. For 2, I'm happy.
So Stephanie asked if I will be doing another kids class. I will be doing another kids class, and I will make sure that I put it out so that we get enough participation.
Nice.
So if you guys, I know I've had, oh, and another thing. So if you're on my Instagram page, I want to let you guys know, I really appreciate you. I just hit 17K on Instagram, and I'm just completely beyond myself. I know about 10 months ago when I started, I was like, oh man, look, I got like 50 followers. So I am so excited. And every time I get a new subscriber, sorry, I just read subscribe. Every time I get a new follower, I appreciate each and every one of you, because I just know that my message is getting out to more people. So please pass it along to others. I'm here to educate, and if there's anything that you guys ever want me to cover, let me know. I've had a lot of requests for how to become a firearms instructor, any advice that I have, and I will definitely be covering that, and it's really state dependent. And so if you have questions on becoming a firearms instructor, make sure that you send it to me so that I can make sure that I'm answering all the questions whenever I do this podcast, because a lot of people have definitely asked me that, and I want to make sure that I cover all of your questions. And that's great that there's so many people who are encouraged and excited about spreading the good knowledge of firearm safety. Yes, it is Black Man with a Gun TV on YouTube. Yep. CZ, I don't have any bad thoughts about them. And so if you guys are following me, what I do want to let you guys know, if you haven't picked it up already, I'm not big on a certain brand. I do say that I'm a Glock girl. I am a Glock armor. I'm a Glock Advanced Armor. You know, they do have some pretty reliable handguns, right? I just recommend that you make sure that you are purchasing something that is for you. Don't buy something just because I say it or because someone else says it or because you heard it in a rap song either. Okay? So when it comes to getting a handgun, just get something that's reliable. You want to get something with a good warranty. And if you ever have to deal with their customer service, you don't want it to be a company that has horrible customer service. So majority of the time, the major manufacturers, they do really good about their products. And just make sure that you're making an educated decision and you're shooting it ahead of time. But you won't really ever hear me badmouth anything because everything's not for everybody. And I'm not the end all be all.
Wise words there.
But just do your homework, and it's always cool to ask, and always do your homework. If you need to Google a certain model, Google that certain model and see if it's had any recalls or if it has any issues, because if it does, you may want to wait until they work out all those kinks before you buy it. So that brand has bad customer service. So if you're on Instagram, look at that. He said they have bad customer service. All right, so I think we've gotten Ken a couple more subscribers. So hopefully your YouTube is like blowing up. Who's talking behind you? So Ken Herky Boss said, "Hey Ken, how is the mag doing you use for your podcast?"
The mag. How's what doing that? How's what doing for
The
the
Mac,
podcast?
the computer.
Oh, it's great. That dude saved my. This is what happened. I had an old laptop that it was like the Borg on Star Trek. I had every bootleg thing you can think, trying to keep it alive, and the viruses kept taking me out, and I kept taking it back and forth to get it cleaned and erased it, and it was a hot mess. So it finally started to die. I got a Mac. Started loving Mac, and then that got old, and then this guy stepped up and said, "Hey, I can help you." And I did cry actually, because I wasn't expecting that in this community. I mean, I'm podcasting down here in the basement. You don't think nobody's paying you any attention. And here's a guy who gave me a computer, and I haven't looked back. I've been smoking ever since. So man, thank you so much for that, for the support.
So was it let's see. Was it I think I missed them. Was it Herky or Jerky Bop?
I think his name was Don in real life.
Okay, so I don't know if he's the one who actually donated it or if he was just asking about it. But if you were the one who actually donated, wow, that's amazing. Thank you for coming to the rescue. And Trench Work Chronicle said, "Is that the OG Blanchard?" It is the OG Blanchard. He is on Facebook. If you guys have not listened to Trench Work Chronicles podcast, I was on their podcast maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I really appreciate you guys having me on your podcast. And I actually met one of the individuals who run the podcast, Glock Don't Blog, at SHOT Show. He was an awesome person. He helped me with some video. So I do appreciate that. And I do want to say that I met a lot of amazing people at SHOT Show. I'm very new to the gun community as far as outside of the military. I have been in the military for almost 16 years, so now I'm venturing out into the civilian 2A community, and there's a lot of great people out there. My message that I'm saying, my style may not be for you, but just know that there's other people out there who are delivering messages, and their message may just be delivered the way that you want it. So make sure that you're checking those hashtags, that you're going out there and saying what else is out there. Because if you're supporting me, then I need you to go out and support these other people as well, because we are all connected. Like, we're one big happy two-way family, and we need the support, because sometimes you just feel like you're not really getting that support. And I want to say hello to Jason Ward. Let's see. Oh, so Herky Boss, he is. So Ken, his Instagram screen name is Herky Boss, the one who donated the laptop for you. And so it's funny because we a lot of the times, we see people on social media, so we don't really know their real names sometimes. So I know sometimes I'm like, oh, what's your Instagram? At SHOT Show, I found myself saying, I'm sorry, what's your Instagram? They're like, oh, I follow you. And it's like, if you guys really communicate with me, I'll definitely know your names. But I may not know your real names, and I apologize. So if you share what your real name is, then I'll definitely try to remember it. But this old lady has a lot of stuff going on, so I may not remember it exactly, but we do appreciate you all reaching out. And Herky Boss, like, that was amazing that you donated that. That was very selfless. And me and Ken kind of talked about that on the podcast episode this week. Han, thank you so much for joining. And all of you that are on Instagram saying that I'm needed and that you guys love my style, thank you so much. And Ken Herky Boss said, glad the Mac is still holding. Get needed to help each other where we can. Love what you do, Ken. Jeff.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you so much, man.
And I'm sure he appreciates you more than you ever know it.
I just saw a old Marine buddy pop up on this thing, which was amazing. Dan Hakala was on here for a hot second. I don't know if he's still around, but that was just cool, man, that you popped into this thing as well. Hack is a retired Marine, and he's like Rambo in real life. Just saying.
We need to see him.
Yeah. Hack is Rambo in real life.
So on Facebook, Q, I hope I'm saying that right, said at some point I like to try for my CWP, and for those of you guys who don't know what that is, that's a concealed. I have a lot of practicing ahead of me. What advice can you give me as far as perfecting my aim? When it comes to perfecting your aim, if you're not really comfortable, I would tell you to definitely go and take a professional class, because there may be something that you're not really doing right, that you don't really know that you're not doing right. But once you guys have taken professional classes, I will tell you, dry fire is amazing.
It's true.
It is amazing. There's so much that you can do in the comfort of your own home. And I know sometimes you guys are like, oh, here she goes talking about dry fire again.
No.
But if you dry fire, you will perfect your skill. There's so much that you can do in the comfort of your own home. And then there's just different tools that are out there that can help you with your score. I'm sorry, not score. It can help you with all the different marksmanship skills. And when you go to the range, you're just going to be that much better. So actually tomorrow I will post a dry fire tool that I use. And I'm not saying because I use it that you guys have to go out and buy it, but it's just something that I use and I really enjoy, and that's the Mantis.
Okay.
There's a lot of them that are out there. So what I will tell you is, if you feel like you're going to try to get it at a certain point, then you should probably go ahead and make sure that you follow through with that. And it doesn't really take a lot to actually be ready, but a class here and there will definitely help you out.
Really, really, if you pay big money for a firearm, you pay big money for a holster, you got to put the training in. You have to get it from somebody who does it for a living and has the facility to teach you some stuff, because you can get some wrong information off of YouTube. You can get some wrong information off of social media. So make sure you take the time and spend the money to get something from somebody who does this stuff for real. It make all the difference in the world to you. Your life depends on it.
Absolutely. This is like your lifeline. So you want to be very, very intimate with it. You want to know exactly where your finger needs to be on the trigger. And if you have any questions, there's always a ton of instructors out there. And if just make sure that you vet them and it's someone that is really worth your money. So Glock Don't Lock is on Instagram. Thank you so much for joining. It was great to meet you at SHOT Show. If this is your first time joining me for Talk to Me Thursday, please let me know it's your first time, and also give me some feedback. Let me know what you liked. So it was Kenn's first time joining as well, but let me know what you liked, and you can shoot Kenn a note as well. So Kenn will be tagged on the Facebook. So let us both know what you liked. If there's questions that you guys have and we didn't get to them, I do apologize. Shoot a message. And Kenn, do you have anything that you would like to share with them before we end this live?
Just want to say thank you to you again. Thank you for all those who came on and gave me a quick shout out. You guys made me feel good for being in this thing for a minute. And I'm still kicking, and I got more to give. And I'm looking forward to working with you in 2019.
So we have quite a few people who it was their first time. It was J4 Music's first time. It was Christina Davies' first time. Linda McKenzie, it was her first time. And Herky Boss, this was his first time joining as well.
All right, Joe.
J4 Music said on Instagram, I like that you're a woman and you inspire other women to carry and get involved in the 2A world. And Marcus Ferris on Facebook, it was his first time as well. And he said, first time, I enjoyed you both. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, guys.
And we have your co-host on Instagram as well.
Big Mike.
He said, Kenn just said, hi, Mike. Sorry, I spoke over him. He said, sorry. So he said, let me ask this. What was your favorite moment at SHOT Show? And what was Kenn's most memorable memory at SHOT Show in the past? My favorite moment at SHOT Show, I had a lot of favorites. It was every time I met someone. I've connected with a lot of people over Instagram and Facebook, and I'm so thankful for technology that I was able to meet people ahead of time, you know, over the internet, and then I was able to see them in person. But it was just amazing to meet people. And then if you follow me and I saw you at SHOT Show and you said, oh, hey, I follow you and can I take a picture? Every single time it was extremely humbling. I'm like, oh, how do you know me? So I do appreciate that, and everyone that said that they support me. I don't know if you guys know this, but your support means the world to me. It's just little old me who wants to make a difference, and every person who comes on these lives and likes a post, comments, subscribes, rate, review, whatever it may be, that means the world to me. So each and every time I get a new something, it's like, oh, wow, there's someone else who supports me. So something like that, SHOT Show, it was just over and over. It wasn't really the guns and all that because those are constants, right? We already knew half of that stuff was coming out, and it was just kind of seeing it in person. But yeah, for me, it's just you guys showing love all the time. What about you, Kenn?
I've had a couple of them since I've been going, and one of them was probably the last time I was there. I had a hug fest going on. People would just go, I know that voice. And they would come out of nowhere and like hug me. And I thought, this is better than church right now. I'm getting like hugged from like 40 people. And it just felt like I was like really with family. And that meant the world to me. Sometimes you can get kind of negative. You can just think, yeah, this is just how this stuff is. And people are just so phony. But our community is on fire. Our community is real. It's the real people in this country. And when they were like, man, you got me through a tough time, or your jokes are dry, funny, or I mean, it was just the stuff that I heard. It was just like, it stuck. And I thought, I'm getting a better vibe here than I do at home. I mean, with relatives sometimes. So this is like a family reunion. That was my best thing that happened. That's why I go. I go for the people.
Absolutely. So for those of you who have not been to SHOT Show, it's, people who are in the gun community, you have to have a business and you have to be in that community. You can't just be, I don't want to say an average Joe, but you have to have a business to be able to go to SHOT Show. And it's people who you connect with online and you get to see them in person, and it's great. And you get to see all your old, like for Mr. Blanchard, he has a tons of connections in the community. And so he gets to see them. Simple Stephanie said, we appreciate you. J4 Music said, keep up the good work. And Robert said, hello. Herky Ball said, you're doing a great job, and Ken is a great person to learn from. It's my bedtime now. Good night. Good night.
Yeah, mine too.
All right, guys. So thank you so much for joining Talk to Me Thursday. You can find me on Facebook or Instagram, and you can find Ken on there as well. Do you have anything else?
Nope, that's it. Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.